Welcome to this session on setting up the Bank Master and Cashbook data template to import data into the system. In this session, we'll guide you through how to use the Excel workbook designed to configure your Bank Master and Cashbook data. The workbook includes several sheets, each with a specific purpose to help define how Bank and Cashbook are applied within the system. We'll start with the instruction sheet. This sheet acts as your step-by-step guide. It explains what details you need to enter, how to enter them correctly, and how the sheets are connected. It also highlights which fields are mandatory and what formatting is required to ensure a successful upload. The instruction sheet provides clarity on how to correctly define banks, bank accounts, and cash books, as well as their associated accounting defaults, which are essential for enabling automated and accurate financial postings in the system. To learn more about how to use this guide, you can also watch the Data Template Overview session. It gives you a better idea of how to read and understand the instruction sheet. Let's walk through the bank sheet, which is a key part of setting up your bank and bank account configuration in the system. This sheet is used to define all bank accounts associated with your organization, whether for salary payments, vendor transactions, or general operating purposes. Each row here represents a single bank and bank account record. Let's begin with the first column, Name of the Organization. Here, you need to enter the exact name of the organization the bank applies to. For example, Sonic Venture. If the bank applies to all organizations, simply enter an asterisk. Next is the bank name. This field captures the full name of the bank, such as State Bank of India or ICICI Bank. It is used to identify where the bank account is held and must match the official name of the bank. The third column is the description. This field is not mandatory, but it can be helpful. You can use this space to briefly describe the purpose of the account. For instance, head office bank, salary payment bank, or vendor bank. This description helps internal users quickly identify the role of each bank account. After that comes address line 1. This is a mandatory field and should contain the primary part of the bank's address, such as street number or block. For example, SCO 35 or SCF 21 to 22. Next is address line 2, which is used for secondary address details like apartment or complex names. Examples include Sector 70 or Phase 7. Following that, address line 3 provides additional address context, such as town or locality, like SAS Nagar or Chandigarh. These three address fields together help precisely locate the bank branch. Now, let's look at the city name. This is a required field where you specify the city where the bank is located. For example, Mohali or Chandigarh. Accurate city names help in classification and regional reporting. Then comes the state name. This field is also required and must be selected from a drop-down list to ensure consistency. For example, Punjab or Chandigarh. Next is the area postal code, also known as zip code. Enter the numeric postal code of the area where the bank is located. This helps with location validation and documentation. Now we move to the country field. This is a drop-down field where you select the country corresponding to the bank's address. Selecting from a drop-down ensures consistency and prevents spelling errors, which is crucial for accurate reporting across international locations and legal entities. Following this is the bank identification code, which refers to the IFSC or routing code of the bank branch. This is a mandatory field used to process transactions. The system uses this to uniquely identify the bank branch during online transfers or automated payments. Next is the SWIFT code. The SWIFT code is a standard format used to identify banks globally. It helps route international transfers to the correct bank. This field is optional. Next is the Is Own Bank checkbox. Set this to Y, yes, if the bank account belongs to your organization. If it's an account of a third party, like vendor or customer, mark it as N. This flag tells the system whether the bank should be treated as an internal company bank or an external partner's bank. If the bank is not marked as your own bank, You should not enter the account number or any account-related fields for third-party bank accounts, such as those belonging to vendors or customers. This sheet is only meant to define the bank entity itself, such as Indian Overseas Bank, etc., and not the account numbers used by external business partners. The actual bank account details for vendors or customers should be maintained directly within their respective master data. For guidance on this, please refer to the Customer Master and Vendor Master Data Template training sessions. Then we have the bank account number. This is a required field where you enter the complete account number without spaces or special characters. This is the account that will be used for actual financial transactions. After that comes account holder name. This should reflect the name under which the bank account is registered. In most cases, this is the same as your organization name, for example, Sonic Venture. Now let's move to the IBAN field. This is used for international accounts. If your account can send or receive international payments, you can enter the IBAN here. If it's a local account, this field can remain blank. Next is the currency code. This is a drop-down field that indicates the currency in which the bank account operates. For example, you would select INR for Indian rupees. This field ensures that all transactions from this bank account are recorded in the correct currency, which is vital for maintaining accurate financial records, especially in multi-currency environments. Then we have bank account type. Choose from the drop-down list to specify whether the account is checking, credit card, letter of credit, or savings, as defined by your organization. For example, accounts used for day-to-day operations will typically be set as checking. After that comes the opening balance. This is the starting balance in the account when it is first created or imported into the system. For example, you might enter 1,10,000 rupees or 98,000 rupees. This ensures that your general ledger starts with the correct values. Finally, we have the ledger code field. This is used to map the bank to the correct ledger in your chart of accounts. It supports automated journal entries. If not applicable in your organization's setup, you can leave this blank. The bank sheet is essential for setting up all bank-related data in your financial system. Every field is designed to ensure that your banking transactions are smooth, accurate, and fully integrated with your accounting books. Be sure to fill all mandatory fields, validate IFSC codes and account numbers, and choose correct values from the drop-downs to avoid processing issues during operations. Let's walk through the Cashbook sheet, which is a key part of setting up how your organization manages cash transactions in the system. This sheet is used to define each cashbook, whether it's for office use, factory petty cash, or other purposes. Each row here represents a separate cashbook record. These records allow the system to properly handle opening balances, currency tracking, and use this cashbook for day-to-day cash transactions. Let's begin with the first column, Name of the Organization. Here, you need to enter the exact name of the organization to which the cashbook belongs. For example, Sonic Venture. This ensures that each cashbook is linked to the correct legal or business entity within the system. Next is the name of the cashbook. This field should contain a unique name for each cashbook. For example, you might enter Office Cashbook, Factory Petty Cashbook, or Operating Cashbook. The system uses this name to identify and differentiate between multiple cashbooks, so make sure it's clear and specific. The third column is the description. This field is optional, but it can be very useful. You can provide a short explanation of the cashbook's purpose. For example, Cashbook for Head Office or Petty Cashbook of Factory. This makes it easier for users to quickly understand where and how the cashbook is used. Next is the currency code. This field indicates the currency in which the cashbook operates. For example, INR for Indian rupees, or USD for US dollars. It ensures that all transactions from this cashbook are recorded in the correct currency. This is a drop-down field, so be sure to choose the correct option from the list. Then comes the cashbook balance. This field defines the opening balance of the cashbook. It is the amount of cash available in the cashbook at the time of starting the system, or at the beginning of a financial period. Enter only the numeric value no currency symbols. Each row in the Cashbook sheet represents a unique Cashbook setup. Providing complete and accurate information here ensures that your organization's cash handling processes start off correctly in the system. The next sheet is related to Accounting Default Bank. The Accounting Default sheet is used to define parameter combinations between the accounting book, chart of accounts, and account localization. The ledger code linked here will determine which account is used for posting the respective bank. This sheet is used to connect bank with the correct ledger accounts, ensuring each bank account is posted accurately in the system. Let's start with the first column, Name of the Organization. In this column, enter the exact name of the organization for which the accounting default for the bank applies. For example, Sonic Venture. If the accounting default should apply to all organizations, simply enter an asterisk. This tells the system that the accounting default is common across every organization. Next is the bank name. This field is a drop-down list that pulls values directly from the bank datasheet, specifically from the field named Name. When filling this out, select the appropriate bank name from the drop-down to ensure consistency with the defined master data. Example values include State Bank of India, ICICI, Bank HDFC Bank. Using the drop-down ensures that the bank selected is already created in the bank sheet, reducing errors and maintaining alignment with the bank master list. Next, we come to the accounting defaults, which are represented by the following columns. These are the ledger accounts associated with bank account in your system. These columns are important because they define which ledger accounts the system will use when posting transactions for bank account based on the corresponding account default. Let's break down each column in this section. Checking account. This is the main ledger account associated with your bank. It is used to record all direct cash inflows and outflows related to this specific bank. Checking in transfer. This ledger is used when funds are transferred into this bank account from another account, like internal transfers. Checking unallocated receipts. This account is used to temporarily hold receipts that are not yet matched or identified. This is useful when money is received, but its source or purpose is not yet clear. Payment selection. This ledger is used during automated payment processing or batch payments. It acts as a control account when preparing vendor payments. Saving account. This column is used if the selected bank account is a savings type account rather than checking/current. All ledger account codes used in these columns must already exist in the system's chart of accounts. Make sure these are predefined and accurate to ensure smooth financial posting. The next sheet is related to Accounting Default Cashbook. The Accounting Default Cashbook sheet is used to define parameter combinations between the accounting book, chart of accounts, and Cashbook localization. The ledger codes linked here will determine which account is used for posting the respective Cashbook transactions. This sheet is used to connect each Cashbook with the correct ledger accounts, ensuring that every Cashbook transaction is posted accurately in the system. Let's start with the first column, Name of the Organization. In this column, enter the exact name of the organization for which the accounting default for the Cashbook applies. For example, Sonic Venture. If the accounting default should apply to all organizations, simply enter an asterisk. This tells the system that the accounting default is common across every organization. Next, the Cashbook column. This field is a drop-down list that pulls values directly from the Cashbook datasheet, specifically from the field named Name. When filling this out, select the appropriate Cashbook name from the drop-down to ensure consistency with the defined master data. Example values include Office Cashbook Factory, Petty, Cashbook Operating Cashbook. Using the drop-down ensures that the selected Cashbook is already defined in the Cashbook sheet, helping to minimize errors and maintain consistency with the master Cashbook list. Now, let's move to the Accounting Default section, which includes the following columns. These columns represent the ledger accounts associated with each cashbook in your system. They define which ledger accounts the system will use when posting transactions for each cashbook based on the corresponding account default. Let's break down each column in this section. Cashbook expense. This is the main ledger account associated with cash payments or outflows made from this cashbook. Cashbook receipts. This ledger account is used to record cash inflows or receipts received into this cashbook. Petty cash. This account is used for tracking petty cash transactions, usually for small day-to-day expenses. Petty cash in transfer. This ledger records funds transferred into petty cash from other internal accounts. Petty cash over short. This account is used to record any discrepancies or variances in petty cash balances, cash over or short. Important note: all ledger account codes used in these columns must already exist in the system's chart of accounts. Make sure these ledger accounts are predefined and accurate to ensure smooth and correct financial posting for your cashbook transactions. The last sheet is the list reference sheet. It contains all the predefined drop-down options and lookup codes used throughout the workbook. Here, you'll find important categories like bank account type, state, region details, country details, and currency, clearly organized for easy selection. Using these standard lists ensures your data stays consistent and accurate, minimizing errors. It also makes your work faster because you can simply pick values from drop-down menus instead of typing everything manually. Whenever you're working on other sheets and need to select an option, just refer back to this list reference sheet for guidance. By following the structure and codes outlined in this sheet, you'll be able to complete your bank and cashbook configuration quickly and correctly. Thank you for watching, and we hope this session helps you complete the bank and cashbook setup accurately, ensuring your organization's financial data is configured correctly and efficiently.